Hey everybody, welcome back to Everyday Journey. So here is my dog. I told you guys that I'd let you know the first farm animal. He was actually the second farm animal. The first one was the bunny that we brought along with us. We moved from the city. We came out here and the bunny's never seen outdoors basically. It's been staying in the room the whole time. So you can't really consider it a farm animal, but you know, it's the first animal out here. This is Timmy. Timmy is a miniature Labradoodle, and he actually, my wife drove all the way to Kentucky to pick him up. Pretty sure this is as big as he's gonna get, so not very big. And he's been a great dog. They've got, you know, my family's got allergies and things like that, so he's supposed to be hyperallergenic. We haven't been seeing any issues with them whatsoever. So I think he works out good for that. But overall, he's a great dog. He hasn't needed to be house trained. It took a little bit of training to get him used to the property and staying within the boundaries. And he still has some issues with that because he likes to go out and do his own thing. But for the most part, he stays within the boundaries. And but he's actually the second farm animal. So his name's Timmy. We didn't name him that. My wife actually picked him up, and when she did, I guess that was the name he had, and she told me about it and said we were going to change it, and I said, you know, knowing South Park, I was like, why change it? That's a perfect name, you know. So his name is Timmy. I'm not a big fan of South Park, but I do like that character, and so it's just a coincidence that our next farm animal, or our first real farm animal, is actually right over here. So let me go ahead and switch the cameras over there so we can see it, and I'll tell you the story behind that. All right, so here's our first farm animal. This here is Gobbles. If you're familiar with the Timmy's little pet, the turkey. Of course, this one, unlike the one in the movie or one in the show, doesn't actually drag its head on the ground, but it is a turkey. And yeah, my neighbors actually, they brought it to me, and what the deal is with it, I guess, is it probably got loose from one of the neighboring farms, and we couldn't really, they were allergic to it. She couldn't let it go. She figured, as small as it is and as cold as it was that day, because it was almost nighttime, that it'd be an issue if let it out there. Of course, it may have lived. I don't know. But she brought it over here, and of course, it was affecting her allergies and everything. And I was off to pick up my son at school, so she brought the turkey. My wife accepted it, and we went ahead and my wife, I got home with my son and went in there, and my wife's sitting there at the computer just holding the turkey, and it wasn't trying to get away. It was happy with where it was at, so it didn't really care. But then I was like, all right, I don't have a chicken pen ready. I don't have anything ready. So I went on a mad dash to try to get everything ready. I have this 100-gallon cattle trough that I bought. Thought I was going to put the chickens in it whenever they come in, but I've realized since that it's way too small for 51 chicks, and it also, you know, the brooder itself in there is just way too big, so it takes up most of the space. So anyway, though, I went ahead and put the brooder in there so that the turkey had something, but I had to prop it up because the turkey's way too tall. I want to make sure it had some heat, though, because we were putting it in our basement. It's the only place we had that was actually going to be good enough to protect it. So did that, put it in the basement in that, and then so the brooder's ready, but it's all propped up and everything. Didn't have any bedding, didn't have anything to put the feed in, didn't have any feed. So I took some chicken wire. Excuse me. Took some chicken wire and put the turkey in there, put the brooder in there, and then put the chicken wire over the top. And that worked out good while I could take off to the store real quick. So I did have to go to the store. I bought some mixed feed for, I guess, for just to mix poultry. So I guess if you had a flock of ducks and turkeys and chickens and everything, that you could kind of put that out there and should be able to feed all of them. But I bought that, and it's a starter feed, so it's all mixed up to something that this should be able to handle. Of course, it's big enough now. I think it could probably handle a little bit more than that, regular feed, but I'm not really certain. It's just getting its feathers all in. They're not completely in yet. There's still a lot of bare spots. But then I got the feeder, just a cheap feeder, because I'm not sure if that's what I want to use. But I was looking for something small that I could put in the brooder, and so it worked out. And then I already had the drinkers that I didn't have. I was going to put these on a 5-gallon bucket over here, but instead I just went ahead and got a container that we had. This is an orange juice container, just something quick and small. It could go in the brooder, or go in with the brooder and all that, and just put it on that lid. It seems to work out fine. And then that got us through the night. So the very next day, I went out and I got some of this wire, this fencing wire that the neighbors got for me. It was actually left over for something they did, maybe their pigs or something, I'm not sure. But they gave it to me, and this piece right here was just the perfect size. I was able to just loop it around and make a small cage for it. I put this is actually some of the wire that I had in my trailer that I picked up on the side of the road the other day. I couldn't leave it there because it's metal, it has some value, but the biggest reason is it was just going to trash up the area, and as soon as stuff started growing through it, there's no way you were getting that back out of there, at least not vines and bigger things like that. So I had to get it out of there then, and eventually I'll go to the scrapyard and go ahead and dump it. But it works fine for this, to keep the aerial predators out of here. That's all I really cared about. And then the other thing I had to do was actually I had to put all this inside my pig pen. So luckily I don't have the pigs yet, but we got some dogs here on the property, and since our chicken pen is not set up yet, I had to make sure that they couldn't get to it. And this thing right here is so flimsy, I mean, I just lift it up and put the turkey under, so the dogs could get under there no problem. So I just pin it up inside this pig pen. That keeps the dogs out, and this keeps the other things out of it for the time being. And this is just where it sits during the day. So the rest of the time, at night, we go ahead and still take it in, still put it into the brooder, and let it stay warm there. And because it's still a bit chilly here, I think here lately it's been in the 60s, but just 2 or 3 days ago it was down in the 30s. So that's a bit too cold for this one still. So I just bring it in, and today actually it jumped out of my arms on the way out here, and luckily my dog Timmy didn't get a hold of it, but he stayed back. He's a really good dog, but I was able to just walk the turkey out here, and of course turkeys like to follow, so it followed me out here and just went ahead and went into the cage on its own. Anyway, I just figured I'd show you what I was talking about the other day. World, here's Gobbles. If you know whether or not this is a girl or a boy, let me know that, because I don't know, not for sure. I'm pretty sure it's a girl, but I don't know for sure. And let me know if there's anything else I might need, because this is the first turkey I've ever had, dealt with, or anything. So go ahead and hit that like button, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. There'll be more videos coming out. I hope you guys come back to watch them. Hit that bell notification so that you get notified. And until next time, y'all take care.